Hey everyone, hopefully this is coming through okay. Welcome to Gintendo Stream episode 52. I am Jeremy Parrish, and I am doing something weird and zany today. I'm streaming from a Nintendo 3DS. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully the video is coming through okay. Let me make sure it doesn't look too washed out. It seems a little bright. So I'm gonna bump the brightness down just a smidgen. And hopefully that will do the trick. So, hello. Here we go. So this is a stream of Etrian Odyssey, Etrian Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Girl, and I've had a 3DS hardware mod for a while, and have been wanting to record from it, and I finally had motivation at work to record from it. So now that I've got it set up, we are good to go. And this is actual 3DS hardware, actually 2DS hardware. It's running a Katsu Kitty mod, which basically taps into the video output and transmits it over USB, and then there's a capture application running on my computer, and you can do capture from that if you connect it properly. To stream though, I actually have two computers set up. The capture system, or the gameplay system, is actually running HDMI video out to an Elgato device, and then that is running into another computer and broadcasting. I can actually set up a loop where the Elgato feeds back into the original computer, but that'd be really awkward for the stream because you're seeing the entire, right now you're seeing the screen of my computer. If you look, you can see me moving the mouse cursor around. So yeah, it's a strange setup, but it's working, it seems. I've got the audio actually running directly from the 3DS into the Elgato through the analog port. And it seems to be pretty well synced up with the game. So, with all that said, let's leave. Let's go explore the dungeon. This is, as I said, Etrian Odyssey Untold. There are two modes to this game. There's the story mode, and there's the classic mode. The Jum says Jeremy has his PS4 Pro turned on in the background. Actually, that is the streaming laptop, because I am streaming at 1080p, which I've never done before, and I think the laptop is like, whoa, hey, dude, what's up? So sorry about that background noise. Jesse McConnell says, do you have the ability to adjust the two screen sizes? Yes, I can actually, let's see, go here and change the allocation, so you can get different sizes. And you can have different layouts. I'm using the 6633 version because I am streaming at 1080p, and when I do it this way, that means the top screen is 720 pixels, which is an even upgrade, like it's 3x scaling for the top screen, so you won't get aliasing and weird bitmapping and that sort of thing. Okay, I can see people are going to be commenting on the laptop fan the entire time. Yeah. Alright, so anyway, let's enter the lobby. So there are two modes to this game. There is the story mode, and there is the classic mode. I'm playing the classic mode because it's just you and a guild of 5 characters and a dungeon full of monsters. And all the monsters have one thing in common, is that they want to kill you. They want you to be dead. So anyway, I've done just a little bit of exploring here. I uploaded a test video, a couple of weeks ago, and this is more of that. So basically, right now I'm in the opening section of the game where they're basically just saying, hey, prove that you are competent enough to play this game. And that is what I'm doing. So my job right now is to map out the dungeon, at least a portion of the dungeon is marked within those red lines. So by doing once I do that, then I can move on to the real game. But this, of course, is a game about using the lower screen as graph paper, virtual graph paper. So I zoomed in on the bottom screen and will be drawing things and fighting things. Then will fight me. They don't like me mapping. I'm going to check the wall here, see what happens. Scott Ott says, Etrian is an RPG. Yes, sir. If you don't know what Etrian Odyssey is, you're in for a treat. It's a classic dungeon RPG. So, I actually don't need this water right now because I just came from the inn and my team is fully refreshed. I think that the water there is harmless, but just in case, I'm going to make a little note on the map. And belong. Oh, okay, so now I'm attacked by rats and bugs. So now we get to meet my my team, my guild. I don't know what I called them this time. Was it Gintendo? I don't know. Anyway, let's kill some stuff. So these, my team is up to level 2 now. Very strong, very powerful. So we're going to just easily kill these things. Probably take a little damage in return, but not too much. Nothing we can't recover. So every guild in Etrian Odyssey can consist of up to 5 characters at a time, each with a different class. They're all blank slate characters. You define their skills as you advance, as you level up. It's going to be a while before I level up. But I've put together a pretty nuts and bolts type team. Okay, someone says the voice audio is a little low. Someone else says the game audio is getting lost instead of me. I don't know what to tell you. There's sound happening here, folks. Yeah, noise. What can you say? What can I say? Alright, so I'm just going to leave the audio as it is and keep exploring. So you can zoom in on the map, you can use the analog pad to look around the map when it's zoomed in. It'll automatically recenter. Anyway, right now I'm using the pencil tool to draw lines that define the boundaries of... And it looks like I can keep going. I think if I try to go past the red boundary... Oh, it's going to let me, but I don't need to go up there. So really I'm just going to finish up here and go talk to the soldier. And fight mountains. Alright, so like I was saying, I have a pretty nuts and bolts team. So in the lead I have a paladin who is kind of the team tank. Once she levels up a little bit, she will have access to things that will draw enemy attacks, draw aggro, I guess you would say. She can also do some healing, resist elemental attacks and that sort of thing, but right now everyone has very few skills, so mostly they just attack her. This is a Landschnick. She's going to specialize in axes, because axes are cool, and also the paladin can use swords, so that diversifies the team a bit. This is the healer. This is the token male in the team. He's there just for healing and sex appeal, because this is an RPG. So you gotta have the token other gender character. So Toasty was the mage. Rose is an archer. Actually, survivalist is what she's called, and she uses a bow and arrow, which is good against flying things. And she can also help with lots of passive exploratory skills that will detect enemies and give you safe passage over damaged floors and things like that. And then finally there's Persephone, who is a mage. She casts magic, except they call it something else, but it's magic. Anyway, so we're just about done with the exploration, and yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything within the boundaries. So we will talk to the guy here and say, look at how good my map is, and he will say, God dang, you are good at mapping. DJ says, permadeath in this game, no. This game does not have permanent death. If you die and your party, your guild survives, you can go back and heal up. This game would be unreasonably difficult with permanent death because it's a hard game. I'm playing on standard difficulty. You can also play on hard difficulty, and it is really hard. So I don't think I'm quite ready to go to floor 2. I want to level up to 3 for my team before I actually venture down that far. So I'm going to poke around. Oh, what was that? I feel like I just saw... Did I see you? Oops. I thought I saw a pop-up. Alright, so... Snakes on a Plane 114 says, is this FF Dawn of Souls? I'm not really sure what to tell you, buddy. If you think this looks like Final Fantasy, I would like to know which Final Fantasy games you've been playing. Oh, I think I need to heal my launch neck, so let's do that. Oh, well, now we get to see non-permadeath in action. Dang. Toasty fell down on the job. He's not got a lot of healing skills and not got a lot of sex appeal, so he's just kind of dead weight, honestly. I guess I should have had my paladin defend, but I failed. Spencer Presley said, just want to take a moment to say it's a shame Atlas West never localized Etrian Mystery Dungeon 2. Actually, he wrote a Etruscan Mystery Dungeon 2, which I'd love to see sometime. But yes, I agree. The first Mystery Dungeon was really good, and the second really should have come out. Defy on X. So these moles are actually stronger than I realized, and I erred in judgment. Now Yuki is going to be way behind the rest of the team, which is a shame, because she needs to be the bruiser. So let's get out of here. We will skedaddle, head back to the town to bring Yuki back to life. Anyway, yes. I forgot to mention the gym tonight, because I will be in the dungeon foraging. The gym for tonight's Gintendo is the Botanist. It's very thematically important. Alright, so let's bring my dead person back to life. Cost 10. That is an inexpensive resurrection. $10. 10 yen. Might actually be yen, which means it's like 10 cents. That is the price of life. Alright, so having completed the exploration, the dungeon mapping, and then I'm going to stop by Rada Hall and talk to the person who takes my missions and stuff. Alright, so, hooray, now I get to actually go into the dungeon. And also take on side quests and stuff. That's fine, so. Keith Lott says, I'm drinking Seagrams and OJ. Also, I'm still hungover. I feel like if you are drinking Seagrams and OJ, you're going to get really, really hungover. Between cheap gin and juice, that is a recipe for disaster. Oh, look, everyone's at level 3 now. That's great. So let's see if there are any missions. Oh. Alright, so my team is rich. We have leveled up. And now I can go to the Golden Deer pub and talk to the sassy barman. This is a great character. I can't remember what her name is, but she gives me quests and also advice. So you can also talk to people in here, such as the one-armed drunkard who probably is getting sauced, blitzed on Seagrams and OJ. That's just a guess. So generally talking to these people will just give you advice on dungeon survival, but sometimes talking to these people will actually open up side quests, or will play into side quests that Sassy Barman gives you. You can tell which characters I have not talked to. Leggy Dark Hunter, that sounds enticing. So yeah, more advice. I don't really need to go through all this kind of stuff. So let's talk to Sassy Barman. Oh, there's all kinds of scuttlebutt about me. Alright, so here we go. Quests that I can take on while I am exploring the dungeon. Alright, so, whoa, there's a bunch of people who are chatting while I've been absorbed in the video game. Marcus mysteriously said, Jeremy, did you finish that gold-laced gem? Oh no, absolutely not. That is going to be with me for years. It is a sometimes gem. Kind of like, like a high quality whiskey is something you take out occasionally. I've got a bottle of Hibiki whiskey that it's a precious nectar. I can't drink it too quickly. Basically, if I can't buy something in stores locally, which is pretty likely, and I really like it, then I nurse it for a very long time. Especially now that I'm not traveling to places where I can easily obtain it. That has been one of the big sadnesses about this whole pandemic thing. Siegfried said, Jeremy Parrish, are we doing the story mode? No, this is clearly not. This is clearly a generic team from the non-story mode. I mean, there's still a story here, but I don't want to be stuck with their preset characters. Excuse me. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that, so I guess I should have listened. Oh, nice. I've already completed a side quest. Way to go, me. Gosh, look at me. Go me. Alright. So let's go talk to Shelika. I do remember that. Oh, my bad. Yes, okay. So I don't sell them to Shelika. I give them to Sassy Barman. And the all-important Ariadne thread. Okay. So let's go back to the pub and report results. Look at that, I'm so efficient. Already completed quests, which is encouraging. Look at that, we're going to hit level 4 before we even leave town. Hunter said, the Etrian Retronauts episode reminded me that I've been meaning to play the 7th Dragon for ages. Finally picked it up and it's excellent. Victor, did you play Code VFD or did you play the fan translation of the original 7th Dragon? I've never gotten around to that. But I really liked the original 7th Dragon. It was basically this game, but in disguise as a Dragon Quest. Paulo Combs, 1981 says, are we one-shotting FOEs yet? No, we haven't even encountered an FOE. And when I do, I will die. And you can see what permadeath doesn't look like. You can see a total party kill though. Alright, so let's take off and go... Let's see, first I should upgrade my skills. So let's see, everyone has... Oh, 2 skill points. My goodness. So many things I can do. Alright, so if I want to unlock elemental blocks, which is probably overkill right now in this part of the game, but I guess it never hurts. Yeah, okay, I think I'll just go for the basics here and bump up her shield mastery so that she unlocks the elemental guards. So that'll be good when I start facing enemies who use elemental attacks. I'm not doing sword mastery with Yuki because axes are cool. Let's unlock head bash. And let's see. I guess it couldn't hurt to have. Alright, so let's see. Salve seems like a good thing, so I'm just going to sink all of the skill points into Cure until I get total party heal. Let's see. Rose, the archer, survivalist. Let's see. So these skills under Predator are basically advantages that you give yourself while exploring the dungeon. So Owl Eye lets you see the roaming bosses. Awareness keeps enemies from getting the jump on you, which can be very helpful, especially in the later portions of the dungeon where there's enemies who will sneak up on you, attack preemptively, and put your entire party to sleep and wipe you out in like 1 round. It's terrible. And then this will lower encounter rates. But I think for the moment I'm going to specialize in her botanist skills. And let's see. There's some debuffs here. Buffs for the party. And what is chain dance? Huh. I guess agility never hurts, so we'll do that. And finally, Formula Mastery seems like a good idea for Persephone. I need to get the return formula though, just in case I ever forget to buy Ariadne threads. I don't want to be stuck in the dungeon. And let's see. Alchemy is handy because you have a limit in the number of items you can collect in the dungeon. So I think you have a limit of 60 items in your inventory that you want to take back and sell them, and then if you exceed that when you're in the dungeon, you have to abandon stuff. So having alchemy allows you to instantly convert that into cash. It's like having your own pawnbroker. Alright, so we've got that done. Now I will go talk to Shelika, who wears very little clothes because she sells them all. It's a noble task that she is undertaking. So basically these are the things that I've collected in the dungeon from enemy drops and from harvesting. And I can sell them for fat cash. Oh, look at all this stuff. I'm going to go on a shopping spree. But first, I think I need to check my equipment because I did get some stuff. I got a jerkin. If nothing else, let's see. Jerkin boosts her defense pretty well, but maybe Dead Girl here needs the jerkin. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. So she is now protected by a jerkin. And do I have anything else? What is the other item I got? I don't know. Okay. So let's go buy some stuff. Armor is always good. Need more resources to make more jerkins there. Let's see. So I could boost her defense by giving her a hairpin, but I would debuff her agility, which is always a trade-off I'm not willing to make. Alright, so I think my team is about as equipped as they can be right now. Oh no, he could use... Let's see. I'm going to give him some agility also because he failed to move in time to protect Yuki in that last battle. So that's going to boost him up. She's already got pretty high agility, so I think I would focus on the defense. And, oh, Persephone, where are you carrying a dagger? Let's just see. Let's see. So she could probably use higher defense also, because she's going to be very fragile, speaking as a mage. Alright. So I got some armor, got some weapons. That's even promising. A harpoon. Who uses a harpoon? Oh, she does. Yes, let's go for it. Let's see. I want bone axe for her. You, I don't care about. Let's see, is there a better bow for my protection? Survivalist? Nope, there is not. Very sad. Alright, what about a staff? I need a monkey bone. Where does one find a monkey bone? clearly not here. Alright, so I'll just give her a basic staff. And I think we're good. Okay. So let's sell off all the extra crap that I don't need anymore. And I feel like this is an opportunity to save. So, yes, anyway, I basically have been talking to myself while playing a video game, which I don't know if this is compelling television, but it is a thing that I'm doing. Alright, so let's look at the comments here. Wow, everyone is really, I guess the sound of this computer fan is really loud, which is surprising because it's not that loud to me, but okay. There's some talk in the stream about the games. Oh, did I? Oops, I guess I should have waited to sell stuff. Alright, anyway. Yeah, it sounds like the chat has turned to the rarity of Etrian Odyssey games, which are pretty rare. Etrian Odyssey 3 being the hardest to find these days because it's never been remade. Really dropped the ball on that one. So let's see. Let's save. And get into the dungeon. Okay. Okay, so I can forge straight ahead into the dungeon, but I opened up a shortcut earlier. That's what I'm going through here. So I can do some chopping. Oh, it's still the same day. I can't actually do any more chopping, so let's not do that. There are some other resource gathering points, but I don't need them at the moment. So, let's go over here and fight a thing. Right, so these little crab bug things have really high defense. So I will attack them, but I will also let my, what is she called? She's not a mage, spellcaster, whatever. She's in a Zabba. Alright, so apparently the sound of the fan is overwhelming all the other audio, which is really weird because it's not super loud to me and it's actually pretty far away from the microphone. I will continue backing away to the point that I can no longer read the screen text. Hopefully that helps. Try to block the microphone with my 3DS. Oh, okay, well, can't really do much of anything here. There is a locked door. So let's put a symbol for that. And note. Start. Okay. So I've got that. Let's go back and explore that other part of the first floor, even though my team is now at level 4, so they're kind of badass relatively to the first floor, but they also kitted out with good gear, so hopefully I shouldn't encounter any more unexpected deaths from introductory area bad guys. Okay, so so it sounds like I've gotten quieter, and by moving away I've gotten quieter, but the fan is still really loud. But I don't understand because the audio input is not my built-in microphone. Switch that around a little bit, see if that helps. Okay, so maybe that'll make a difference. that doesn't make a difference, then I don't know what to do. All right. Okay, so it sounds like for some reason the reason the fan was so loud was because my streaming system, my software was telling me it was getting input from the wrong place, which is annoying. So sorry about that. Got to listen to half an hour of me trying to speak over a fan. That's really cool. Very, very good work, Elgato. Love your quality. Jeez. Okay, everyone's having a much happier time now. So I'm going to have Yuki defend, or Alicia defend. Yuki can kill some stuff. Let's kill that little guy. He looks kind of, well, no, that's a waste of your power. Let's have, actually, you need to heal. Okay, and you attack, and then, yeah, that's right, Mage, you can bring up the rear. Prove your mettle. There you go. Way to go, team. All right, so now that everyone is actually enjoying the stream and not listening to just fan sounds, I will do another station identification. Hello, I'm Jeremy Parrish. This is a very windy Gintendo stream, thanks to crappy Elgato software. I am playing Etrian Odyssey Untold from a Nintendo 2DS that has been hardware modded to do video output. This is a really kind of needlessly complicated setup that I've got going on here. To properly stream from 2DS, I have to run the video output from the Katsukitty mod and into a laptop where the streaming software, or not the streaming, the 3DS capture software, not even capture, just display. The 3DS display software is running. Oops, and you've got my cursor on there. What a mess. Anyway, so then that is outputting to an Elgato, which is then outputting to another computer. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, now the microphone is too loud. You know, streaming is the worst. I don't recommend it. Never stream. You can only regret it. Okay, so anyway, there's treasure here. So much treasure. So yes, I am playing Etrian Odyssey Untold on Nintendo 2DS, mapping the introductory floor. I will make it to floor 2 shortly. Let's put a little treasure box there. If you've never played this game, it is a dungeon crawler RPG that is designed in the spirit of classic games like Wizardry, and that includes the need to map the game manually, which, you know, it takes advantage of the DS, 2DS, 3DS bottom screen and the touchscreen element to allow you to map with a stylus, which is such a brilliant idea. It's so good, and I'm a huge fan of this series. It is very engrossing, it is very challenging, and yeah, there's like 20 of these games now. It's not 20, but let's see, there's 5 Etrian Odysseys plus Nexus, which is like a all-star jam. Let's see, what else is there? There's Etrian Mystery Dungeon. There's a second Etrian Mystery Dungeon that never came to the US. There is Etrian Odyssey Untold, which is what I'm playing, and then Untold 2, which remake the first 2 games in the series. And pretty much all of these games are on 3DS, except Etrian Odyssey 3 was never remade for 3DS. It was an original DS game. So it is kind of the one old school game. And by old school, I mean like 10 years old. Untold is interesting because both Untold and Untold 2 have straight remakes of the original game, which have quality of life features and things like that. Easy modes and just, you know, refinements that they integrated. Because the first 2 games were very difficult in some ways and also had some glitches and things like that. But then there's also story modes where you have a preset party, preset characters, etc., etc. And those are fine. They have an interesting bonus dungeon if you play the story mode, but I do like just the classic game. and you can just hit L, the L trigger, for an auto attack. And tonight's Djinn, as I mentioned before, is the Botanist, which is very good. The Botanist, I believe, is distilled by... It's an Ela gin, so it's from where all the great peated scotches come from. And I believe the distiller is the same distiller who does Bruichladdich, but I don't want to say that for certain. In any case, it's a very good gin. You should be able to find it in the US these days. A few years ago it was kind of hard to come by, but I can get it here in North Carolina, so that means basically everyone can get it everywhere. But it's a nice complex tonic, a lot of botanicals in it. Pairs really nicely with Fever Tree Gin. Okay, thanks for that. So this is a quality of life feature. Basically, you can automatically jump back to the most recent staircase if you are stuck in the maze. That's good. You also have Persephone's skill, which allows you to warp out. And then you can also use Ariadne threads, an item that allow you to, an expendable item that allow you to immediately warp out. So you don't want to get stuck in the dungeon because there aren't a lot of resources once you get into the dungeon. You will occasionally find places that let you heal up, and I think, you know, once you get close to the boss, or actually once you beat the boss, you can save. But really this game is a gameplay loop about venturing into the dungeon and gathering resources, growing in strength, going back to town, trading in those resources for better gear, healing up, then making another trip in, occasionally venturing out to do side quests. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward kind of game, and that is a secret passage, but I need to come back to it from the other side in classic Metroidvania style. Just kidding. I saw someone ask... Oh, Shellshock said, "Hey Jeremy, I tried the first Etrian and didn't like how slow it was and the constant backtracking. Is there another one that improves on those points?" So yeah, I mean, this is a bit faster and Untold. I feel like the most accessible of the games in terms of maze design, dungeon design is probably 4, because it breaks up the dungeons into smaller pieces. I think the biggest dungeons are 3 floors each, as opposed to 5, like in the standard Etrian Odysseys, the others. Then there's an overworld that you explore with an airship, and that right there is a big monster that comes to life at night. So I'm going to mark it on the map and try to avoid it. Well, that sounds bad. Oh, there we go. This is it. The FOE. I'm not even going to try to remember what that stands for, but I think it stands for something different in every single game. In Japanese, it's just field on enemy, but that sounds not great. So when it was localized by my good friend Nick Maragos, who was the main editor on the first few Etrian Odyssey games, he gave it a very elaborate Latin name, which basically means the deadly foe emerges from below. It's great. Anyway, so FOEs are bosses, like roaming bosses that appear on the map. They are usually too difficult for you to defeat the first time you meet them, so it's good to avoid them. You're going to want to level up, maybe make it to the next floor before you come back and try to fight this guy. But as you can see, his icon is purple right now, so he's not trying to kill you. Kill me, actually. Kill my party. Anyway, the point is, as long as I stay out of his path, I should be okay. But I do need to be careful, because if you see in the top right corner of the upper screen, there's that circle. the color of the circle denotes how soon an enemy, a random encounter, is likely to happen. If you are caught up in a random encounter when a foe crosses your the space in which you are currently standing, it will enter the battle and it will mess you up, and you do not want that. But this guy is not. He's going to turn around and he's not going to come near me. All right, so now we're on the second floor, and that means the enemy makeup is different. So we saw the wood flies earlier, but now there's venom flies, and these guys suck because they are venomous, and poison is a very powerful, very debilitating element in this game. So it's really good to take these dudes out as quickly as possible. I'm going to use Rose's power shot to take it out and hope that I don't die. Because I don't know if I have the means. Okay, so I did not get poisoned, so that's good. I'm not sure if I have the means to cure poison yet. Let's see, refresh. Okay, so I do have that ability, but it's kind of expensive. And it takes, ties up my healer for a turn, which is never good. I saw someone earlier say that they had gin but no tonic. That is okay. Gin with a little water, gin with a little seltzer, that's fine. You don't want to overdo it because it'll water down the gin, but there's nothing wrong with, just going with water or just drinking the gin straight if it's a good gin. Tonic is nice because tonic has the bitterness of quinine, which really, I think, complements the botanicals in a good classic gin. Not every gin works well with tonic. If you are drinking a barrel-rested gin, I do not advise tonic. That's kind of gross because it has more of a whiskey profile. One time I was at an airport bar and asked for a gin and tonic, and it was I asked for a few gin, F-E-W, and the lady thought I meant F-E-W, few whiskey, and made me a whiskey and tonic, and it was not great. I do not recommend it. 4 of 10 would not do again. Okay, so I let the prancing buck march along. And I'm going to explore this little corner and get attacked. Jesse McConnell says, what gin would you recommend if I barely like gin? Now that is a good question. I'm going to say go with Nolet's Silver, which has a very, it really downplays the juniper, plays up rose and peach, but it's not fruity and sweet like you might expect. It's really good. Wow, what are these bunnies? Okay, so I'm going to kill some rabbits. Let's see, another gin I might recommend is, if you can find it, Death's Door is really good, but the distillery that made it went out of business, so I don't know if they still make it anymore. I heard someone bought the stock. Alright, so this is a new enemy, which means I'm going to be extra careful. If you notice, I activated Yuki's boost, which makes her stronger. She attacks, she hits harder. Every character builds up basically a limit break, a boost, and you can activate that in combat to enhance their attacks or make their heals more powerful or boost their, buff their spells. It's a one-time thing until you build up the boost meter again, but it's very handy. So I'm going to use another power shot. And let's try fire. Try roasting a hare. Well, that worked pretty well. These guys are not as dangerous as they seem. Elliot L said, I have a gin drink with squid ink in it. I don't know about that one. If you want a dark gin, I recommend Empress 1908, which is made with pea sprouts, which turns it purple. John Harris said I got all Elmer Fudd on those monsters. It's true. This is what they're doing with Elmer Fudd now. They're taking away his gun and giving him swords and bows. Okay, so feel like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get past this guy unless I let him pass. So let's do that. I will just kill some time. Okay. Farewell, prancing deer of death. Kyasarinsu says, remember, the Untold games are more or less entirely new games that merely take the aesthetic of the first two games. I mean, if you play classic mode, it's really similar. It's obviously not 100% the same, but the layouts and the dungeons are really similar. The skill sets are pretty similar, but yeah, I mean, they definitely tweaked the balance. They gave you more quality of life skills. Things that were broken in the original, like the immunize skill, which basically prevented you from ever taking damage, that was debuffed. They nerfed it. So it's basically, Etrian Odyssey with a few years of game design experience under its belt. Trial and error. All right, let's see what's so important over here. Nothing. Nothing is important there. Alrighty. So just to kind of give you a perspective on what I'm doing here, I started at the staircase in the top left of the bottom screen and have been slowly making my way through. You can see that there are at least 3 FOEs on this floor, all roaming about their own path. There are different behaviors to FOEs. Oh, I forgot to mark the sleeping guy. There are different behaviors to FOEs. The ones right now are very benign. They do not really care about you unless you happen to walk into their space, and then they get angry and attack you and you die. But there are others that are extremely aggro that will hunt you down. The sleeping rock boars, when they're awake, they will basically, as soon as you cross their path, they will charge at you and murder you very dead. And I don't think it's in this one, but in Etrian Odyssey 2, there are FOEs that can like travel over low walls. There's some nasty bad guys in this game. And you can tell the strength, the relative strength of an FOE because its icon will be a different color. If it's black, if the icon is black, then it's a boss. If it's purple, I think, no. Orange, maybe, like a searing orange, then it's a super hard boss. Something like that. I don't know. There's this one bird, like a firebird, or no, a dragon. It's kind of down in the depths, and you encounter it pretty early in the game, and you can't actually beat it until really late in the game. Alright, so we got a white crystal here. I will mark that again. Eventually I will gain the ability to open up these crystal doors, but not yet. Alright, let's look at my team and do a little healing. Let's see. I do not have healing equipment, so I will make use of my token mail. Let him finally do something besides look sexy. And continue venturing forth. There's another one of those rock boars thing. So basically, when these things are asleep, they can block your path, which is not helpful. But once they wake up, then you can lure them away and venture further into the dungeon to explore areas that you couldn't reach when they're asleep. So, there is a puzzle element to this. Those I don't believe were in the original game. I don't remember them being there. So that's something new that they added to throw a little bit of a puzzle dynamic and make use of the day-night cycle. If you look at the upper left of the screen, the top screen, it says 5 p.m. in about, I don't know, a few turns. Excuse me. In a few turns, it's going to turn to night, and things will change. Darkness will descend, and the monsters will murderize me. But the good news is that I'm about to make a shortcut. This is like coming up the elevator from the parish, or whatever. It's like all I know about Dark Souls. People really love that elevator. Oh, it didn't turn dark at 6. Maybe it's at 7. Okay, so this is, seems bad. Let's finally make use of my paladin's defensive skills. We're going to boost her, and she's going to front guard to keep that large zebra monkey from wailing the crap out of the front lines. Let's see. We're gonna... I don't know if this thing can use any head-based attacks, but we're going to use the head bash anyway. Our medic is going to defend himself and just stand around looking sexy. I believe we're going to let her try to take out a rat. And let's boost Persephone and use some fire. Alright, so it's a good thing I used that defensive skill, because otherwise it would have been kind of bad. Let's take him out with a swiftness. Let us cure Alicia. Let's see, let's boost the attack here, just do a standard attack. And what the heck, we'll throw some extra fire in. Just, someone's gonna, okay, there we go. So my team met a new monster that was very large and did not die. So all is good. But that stupid thing didn't drop any goods. So that was kind of pointless. That monkey offends me. It thinks it's so cool just because it looks like a zebra. But it didn't leave me a monkey bone, which is something that I need for some kind of weapon somewhere. Yes. Alright, and this looks like another one-way passage or two-way passage that can only be opened from the other side. So let's keep exploring, see where we can go. Something's about to attack me, and I know not what. Alright, there is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening in the chat. I can't keep up with it all. My apologies. Seems like there's some good conversations happening about the mechanics of these games. So basically, if you are coming in late to this stream and wondering what the hell is Jeremy Parrish doing, he's playing Etrian Odyssey Untold. You can learn all about it by scrolling through the chat. But it's a dungeon RPG where you have to make a map. You have to avoid very large creatures called FOEs and find animal bits and sell them for money to a lady who needs a shirt. But actually, I'm kind of surprised. It's already nearly 6:30, so my stream is nearly complete. But this game is very addictive. I start playing and I just keep playing. It's kind of weird to basically narrate what I'm doing, but I am very happy. Oh, there we go. 7 p.m. and now it's nighttime. And I guess that guy doesn't wake up until I come back into the dungeon. All right. Anyway, I'm very happy to share my love of Etrian Odyssey. Usually it's such a solo experience, a solitary experience. Just me and my stylus and a lot of deaths. Whoa, this seems bad. Hey, what was that? Oh, the rare monsters. Okay, this is something also new for this one. I think this made its debut in Etrian Odyssey 4. So it's kind of dangerous, but hopefully not too bad. So we're gonna heal up. I'm gonna shoot the crap out of it and toast it. Okay, well, so I think the dialogue box kind of oversold the strength of this thing. Alrighty, so that was a very special bowl. Usually when the doctor sees a very special mold, he's like, we gotta burn that off. So anyway, I'm actually, I think probably starting to get to the point where my items are full up. No, wait, what? I only have 12 items? What have I been doing down here? Jeez. Frickin' stingy monsters. Tell you what. So if I haven't really earned much or acquired much, this is kind of a worthless trip, since really the point of going into the dungeon is to get loot, which you can then trade and sell for better gear, healing equipment, etc., etc. Oh, I bet this is probably a squirrel. That's my guess. It's going to be a squirrel that steals my Ariadne thread. All right, Toasty, you're up. Bring your sexy powers. Oh well. That was all for nothing. Sometimes you find these encounters, these random, not really random, but these scripted encounters in the jungle, and they're good. They benefit you. But clearly that one didn't. All right, time to take a shot or something. Okay, looks like I can level up Yuki and then head back to town. I feel that would be a time well spent. Okay, so this path is obstructed by a sleeping rock boar. So thoughtless. And the jungle's kind of looking, or forest is looking kind of ominous in the dark. But at least it does have pretty pink flowers. Okay, well, there's not really much to say about all of this, but as you can see, I am making more and more progress. Just kind of gradually mapping out the dungeon, which is, you know, very important work. It's God's work. Someone's got to map the jungle, forest, whatever. And of course, the whole game does not resemble forests like this. As you get in, there's like a poisonous woods, and then sand. I'm trying to remember what the fourth stratum is. And then finally, spoilers, a lost city. One you might even have heard of. It gets all Nausicaa at the very end. Okay, now the enemies are getting serious. All right, so let's use front guard to protect Yuki because she's in trouble. Let's see, skills, boomerang axe. Whoops, don't want to do that. Let's have him heal her and try to kill that venom fly in the back as quickly as possible, and hope we survive. Okay, again I've managed to avoid being poisoned, so everything should be okay. My characters are running low on tech skills, tech power, so tech points. So that's another sign that I need to head back into town. Even though the crappy drop rate means I got very little for this outing. The important thing is that Yuki is now level 5, and it's actually been an hour, so I think that's great. Perfectly timed. Gonna head back to town and call it a night. So thanks those of you who watched. Where is my Ariadne thread? What in the heck? I thought she gave me a freebie. Oh well. Good thing I have Persephone Oh, don't. Okay, well, I may have made a tactical error here. All right, so, well, this is where we'll leave off with me stranded in the jungle, somehow lacking an Ariadne thread, lacking return magic. This ain't good. Okay, well, that's the Etrian Odyssey experience, actually. I blew it. And you got to see it live in real time. So thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. There was a lively chat this evening. Sorry that my streaming software was so screwy at the outset. I don't really know why it was doing that, but hope you enjoyed seeing 3DS games. I will definitely do more games from 3DS, including DS games. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, have a great night, and hopefully these characters don't all die horribly in the forest. Good night.